Welcome. So in the last lecture we have discussed about multi-level queue scheduling algorithm. In this lecture we will be discussing a relative scheduling algorithm which is called as multi-level feedback queue scheduling algorithm. Okay. So it is multi-level feedback queue scheduling algorithm. So it is an improvement over multi-level queue scheduling algorithm. In a multi-level queue scheduling algorithm, the jobs or the processes cannot move from one queue to another queue. That is also one of the disadvantage of multi-level queue scheduling algorithm because of that it is less flexible and it leads to starvation. But in a multi-level feedback queue algorithm, the jobs or the processes can move from one queue to another queue. Processes can move between the various queues in a multi-level feedback queue algorithm. Okay, and by that it it avoids starvation also. Okay, by that it avoids starvation by implementing aging. By making the jobs to move from one queue to another queue, aging can be achieved in multi-level feedback queue algorithm. So aging is a solution for the problem of starvation. Okay, let us discuss multi-level feedback queue algorithm with an example. Okay, so consider there are three queues. Consider there are three queues: Q0, Q1, and Q2 with this level of priority. So Q0 has the highest priority. There are three queues: Q0, Q1, and Q2. And Q0 has the highest priority, and Q1 has the next highest priority, and Q2 has the lowest priority. So these are the three queues which are available. And let us assume that Q0 follows round robin scheduling algorithm. Q0 follows round robin scheduling algorithm, and Q1 also follows round robin scheduling algorithm. Okay, and Q2 follows FCFS scheduling algorithm. Q2 follows FCFS scheduling algorithm. First come, first serve scheduling algorithm. Okay, and the time quantum for Q naught, that is the value of Q in Q naught, is 8 milliseconds. Okay, that is each process when it is allocated to the CPU, it will use only 8 milliseconds. Okay, and the time quantum for Q1 is 16 milliseconds. Okay, and this Q is FCFS. Right? Fine. So now the idea behind the multi-level feedback queue algorithm is what? In the sense, the job which needs more CPU access. Okay, that is the process which tend to use CPU most of the time. It will be moved to the. It will be automatically moved to the low priority queues. The job that are tend to move CPU for more amount of time, those jobs will be automatically moved to the lower priority queue. So here the lower priority is Q2. It will be moved to the automatically, it will move to the lower priority queue. And the IO bound jobs. So IO bound jobs, in the sense, these are the job which spend most of the time in IO operation, and they need very shorter CPU access. Okay, they whenever they need CPU, they will be using CPU for a short period of time. The IO bound jobs and interactive processes. Okay, IO bound process are the one which spend most of the time in IO activity, and it will, whenever it needs CPU, it will use only duration for this. It will use the CPU only for a shorter duration of time. And interactive process. What are interactive process? So interactive process are the one which needs CPU access more frequently, but for a shorter duration. Okay. Okay, it needs CPU access more frequently, but for a shorter duration. Okay, so the idea of this algorithm is to move the jobs which needs CPU access for a longer duration of time to the lower priority queue. The jobs or the process that needs CPU access continuously for a long period of time will be moved to the lower priority queues, and the IO bound process and interactive process which needs CPU access for a shorter duration of time will move to the higher priority queue. Okay, so these jobs that needs CPU for a shorter duration of time will be moved to the higher priority queues, and also to move the jobs which are waiting in the lower priority queue for a longer period of time to the higher priority queue. Okay, so these are the objective of this algorithm. The objective of this particular algorithm, multi-level feedback queue scheduling algorithm, is to move the jobs which need more CPU access, which need CPU access for a longer period of time to the lower priority queue, and to move the IO bound jobs or the IO bound process and interactive process which accesses CPU for a shorter duration of time to the higher priority queue, and also to move the jobs which are waiting in the lower priority queue for a longer period of time to the higher priority queue, thereby to achieve aging, and so that this process can be executed. Okay. Now let us see how this algorithm works. So how the algorithm works in the sense, whenever a new job comes, whenever a new process comes, what happens in the sense, whenever a new process comes, first it will be, the new process will first enter q naught. Okay, irrespective of how much time it needs, whether it is IO bound job or CPU bound job or interactive process, in spite of all that thing, it will first enter into q naught, and it will execute only for 8 milliseconds. Okay, so it will, that is, it is in the queue, it is in the this particular q naught, and whenever it gets the turn, obviously the processor will execute the job which is in the front end of the queue, and by sometimes this job will get will get its chance, then it will execute how much time, it will execute for 8 milliseconds of the time. If it completes by that time, then it will go for IO wait or whatever it may be. Otherwise, if it has not completed, then this job will be moved to the Q1. Okay, if it is not finished within 8 millisecond, then it will be moved to the Q1. Okay, it will be moved to the tail end of the Q1. Okay, then it will be in Q1. Okay, and the job in the Q1 will be executed only if Q naught is empty. Job in Q1 will be executed only if Q naught is empty. Okay, not only that, when the operating system is, when the processor is executing a job in Q1, assume that CPU is executing a job in Q1. Okay, so if it is executing a job in Q1, it means Q naught is empty. Okay, but while it is executing, if a job arrives at Q naught, if a new job arrives at Q naught, then automatically the currently whatever the job it is getting executed in Q1, that will be preempted. That will be preempted. That is, it will be moved back to the queue, and again this job will be executed which is in Q naught. Okay. Similarly, the process or job in Q2 will be executed only if Q naught and Q1 is empty. Okay, only if Q naught and Q1 is empty, the process or the jobs in Q2 will be executed. Okay, and here also, when the CPU is executing a process or job in Q2, and during that time, if some other jobs arrive in Q1 or Q naught, then automatically the current process which is getting executed, uh, which is getting executed by the CPU, which is from Q2, will be preempted. Okay, so these are the basic things which we should know about this algorithm, how it works. Okay, so that is, first it will always execute the job in Q naught. Only if Q naught is empty, then the jobs in Q1 will be executed. Okay, and while executing Q1 also, if some jobs comes in Q naught, then it will be preempted. Similarly, the jobs in Q2 will be executed only if Q naught and Q1 is empty. And while executing Q2, if some jobs arrive in Q naught or Q1, then this job which is currently getting executed will be preempted. Okay. Now let us come back to our scenario. So a process comes, and that is in Q naught, and it executes for 8 milliseconds of time, but it has not finished till that time. Then what happens? That job will be moved to the tail end of the Q2. That job will be moved to the tail end of the Q2. Okay. So now again this job will be executed. Sorry, it will be moved to the tail end of the Q1. It will be moved to the tail end of the Q1. If it has not completed in Q naught, it will be moved to the tail end of Q1. Okay, now again this process will be executed at one point of time. That is when Q naught is empty. If Q naught becomes empty at some time, then what will happen? This process will get a chance to get executed. So now this process will execute for how much time? 16 milliseconds. It will execute for 16 milliseconds. So during this 16 millisecond, if it has finished, then it will go out for IO wait or it will terminate, whatever it may be. If it has not completed by the 16 millisecond also, then once again this process will be moved to the tail end of the Q2. And once again this process will be moved to the tail end of the Q2. Okay. So by this, what happens in the sense, the job or the process that needs 8 milliseconds or less than 8 millisecond will be executed first. That will be given the first priority. Okay. And the job that needs 8 plus 16, that is 24 millisecond or less than 24 millisecond, will be given second priority. Okay. And the job that needs more than 24 millisecond will be given the least priority, and they will be kept in Q2. And they will be kept in Q2, and these jobs will be executed only if there are no jobs in Q0 and Q1. Okay. So Q0 and Q1 will typically have uh, jobs which want CPU access for a shorter duration of time. Like it may be IO bound jobs or it may be interactive processes. Okay, so when there are no interactive process or when there is no IO bound process, then the operating system will execute the processes which demands more CPU access, which demands more CPU access continuously for a period of time. Okay, so this is how this algorithm works. So why we are doing this? Why we are moving the jobs which continuously access CPU for a long period of time to the lower priority queue, in the sense to avoid starvation. Okay, if you allow the jobs which is going to access CPU for a longer duration of time to be in the higher priority queue, then what happens in the sense, these jobs will be keep on using the CPU, and and the IO bound jobs and interactive process will be keep on waiting, and they may not get the CPU at all. But here in this case, the IO bound process and the interactive process will use the CPU for a shorter period of time, and again they will give up. And once again there is a it is highly likely that the jobs in the lower priority queue will get the CPU time for a good amount of time. At the same time, the smaller jobs also will not be ignored. Okay, and also here aging also will be implemented. If a job is in the lower priority queue for a longer period of time, then they'll be promoted to higher priority queue. So this is how multi-level feedback queue algorithm works. So basically it depends on few characteristics. These are, it depends on the number of queues, how many queues are there, and also it depends on like what is the scheduling algorithm for each of the queue. For example, in this case, the first queue and the second queue follows round robin algorithm. That is Q0 and Q1 follows round robin scheduling algorithm, whereas Q2 uses FCFS scheduling algorithm. And also it depends on like when a process will be moving from lower priority to higher priority, that is called as upgrading. Under which situation a process will be moved from lower priority to higher priority. This is basically aging. The process will be moved from lower priority to higher priority if it stays in the lower priority for a longer period of time. Similarly, when a process will be demoted to lower priority, so that is what we have discussed. So if a process takes more than 8 milliseconds, it will be moved to Q1. If the process makes more than 24 milliseconds of time, then it will be moved to Q2. Okay. And initially where a process will enter. Normally, in whatever the example we have discussed, the process always enters in Q0, but in some other variations of multi-level feedback queue algorithm, the process may also enter through some other queues. Okay, so that's it about multi-level feedback queue algorithm. So basically, this is an improvement over multi-level queue algorithm. In a multi-level queue algorithm, the jobs are not allowed to move within the queue. I mean, from one queue to another queue. Whereas in a multi-level feedback queue algorithm, the jobs or a process can move from one queue to another queue. By this, it ensures that. So the basic idea is to move all the jobs which needs CPU access for a longer period of time to the lower priority queues, and the jobs which needs CPU access for a shorter duration of time, like IO bound jobs and interactive jobs, to the higher priority queue, and also to move the jobs which are staying in the lower priority queue for a longer period of time to the higher priority queue. So this is the objective of this particular multi-level feedback queue algorithm, and we have discussed how it works with an example. The jobs in the lower priority will be executed only if there are no jobs in the higher priority queue. And while executing a job in the lower priority queue, if a job or a process arrives at the higher priority queue, then the currently whatever the job is getting executed, that will be preempted. Okay. So the advantage of this algorithm is it avoids starvation. There is no starvation because it implements aging concept. So this is one of the best algorithm for the various CPU scheduling techniques which we have discussed so far. But uh, it is very difficult to implement. Implementing this algorithm is really difficult because there are so many things you should consider. Okay. Fine. Let us stop here. Thank you.